Some of the stuff here is a little bit lackluster. These cram cannons are just not really packing it, if you know what I mean. That's a bad joke, GMODISM. Packing, come on. GMODISM. You're most welcome back to GMODISM and building a superior battleship. At least Draconia, but we'll see very soon. So this time we're gonna test out some of the turrets and see if they may be worth it or not. But first we have the great benefit of actually testing this with the Ragnarök, because of course that's one of the ships we wanna beat. So of course right now we have no data on the hit rate on the turret, but when we are shooting towards an enemy target we'll get an actual hit rate in a percentage, so we know approximately how often our shots actually hit the enemy. So we're gonna spawn in the Ragnarök and we're gonna see if we can beat it by like one part, but also which turrets are doing a good job and which turrets are not doing a good job. The Ragnarök is not the only ship we want to beat. I do think we should probably be able to beat it with our current design, but that's a bold statement, GMODISM. But anyways, let's spawn in the Ragnarök and we're gonna see. The battle is online. Right. We need to follow these. These are some scary shells here. Let's see here, we're shooting, that's some sabots going on there. So the first shots coming out here, they are sabots. Well, we see where they go. See if... Oh, bam! It's penetrating pretty deep into this turret here. We have some of the sieve system just... they're just bursting through. I never realized the... Let's see here, that's the kinetic sieves, isn't it? Yep, sabots, isn't it? I didn't realize the kinetic sieves was a like burst gun. That's like an inaccurate cloud. Ooh, this is interesting. Here we have a cram shot. I think we can go up to full speed actually. And I think we're gonna do damage debug. We got the pack coming in there. Ah, that's beautiful. Okay, so here we see my under subsurface sabots. Oh, beautiful. This is exactly why I designed them. I want them to be able to shoot into the engine compartment here. And they do that all right. So we really want them to be able to take out some important stuff down there. We're getting new holes popping up there. Now we got the full broadside. We are into degraded mode. Not surprised. You can see that sieve system is they're taking down my cram mortars. But my cram mortars were actually on spot. They would have hit. The laser ain't doing much damage because we have so much smoke. It's doing something though. Alright, let's see here. The crams, they're going through alright. Right. They are indeed. And we have dealt a good damage to the turrets there. The pack is still alive, so we have some pretty good health on the pack, it seems. Now they somehow targeted the top here. That's very interesting. So we are shedding bits, of course. If we check the menu here, we can see the Ragnarök. Oh no, the Ragnarök is actually in the lead in terms of health points. One of our big cram turrets is dead. Alright, that's not good. We have to investigate that. Right. So as suspected, no damage has been dealt to the side that's well, not meant to combat the enemy. We have some pretty damaged steam engines there, but they're not connected up all to each other. We have some good ones here. We have engine power still, that's good. Now this is open of course, but the damage type makes it unlikely that we'll be hurt. Alright, this laser compartment is hurt. This one too, but not dead. Oh, this is dead. Yeah, okay, damn it. Seems that maybe I'll need to protect my lasers more. Right now we can see that the thing that did the damage was that the damage was dealt to the turret block itself. So that's a very nice and lucky hit. That we'll have to anticipate, of course. The shields are doing a good job, it seems. Most of the shields are online. We have the heavy armor beam slope band there. Are we having yeah, we got good battery power. Let me check here. Our engine power is going down. Let's fly with these for a little second. See what's going on here. And they're 200 mil, so I guess they'll be detected pretty soon. They are not shooting slower if I remember. Bam. Yeah, it gets... Oh, bam. That one is actually... Kill that cram one. So, our penetrating stuff is definitely shooting through here. But I think we should clear that away now. So, some of the turrets are pretty hurt. But just straight off the bat, it kind of feels like these cram cannons, the hollow point ones, they have a lot of health, and that's good and all, but they just lack that really heavy cram type of damage that we just absolutely love. That cram type of damage is just pretty beautiful. It can make the enemy's ship explode from within with having an armor-piercing frag model. I think we'll need some of those shots. So that's definitely something we'll have to look at. And of course, they're not toothless. They have a tiny bit of EMP2, but the other type of damage we can deal with crams are just so much more. And we have them divided up in 3 barrels, and that adds a certain type of redundancy, but it also makes that the total shell health of the shell itself is lower, which means that more of them got shot out. If it was only 1 barrel, I think we could get away with having a lot more chemical in there. The stats are as this, 88 to 88 percentages. So it's pretty even now. Okay, well that's at least more hopeful. Laser, it's doing its best to fry, and oh, this turret already looks pretty sad, man. I wonder why. And we'll also need to fine-tune the AI targeting and stuff like that, because right now it's I think we'll need to focus the laser longer at each spot, especially with the smoke, to really make sure that we dig through, like drill through rather, burn through a deeper hole. Yeah, seems that those crams ain't getting really through, are they? I think the levels we get from the turrets in terms of stats, we could actually probably check them right now. I think the levels we get here is the number of shots that actually were hit. So that means if the enemy took it out with lambs, it's not showing up on the list. Here we can see this deep cannon, this penetrating thing, hits 78% of each shot. I think that's pretty good. Oh, wow. 100%? Damn. It has hit every shot. That's interesting. Cram cannon here. So, how much is getting through here? 42%. 45%, 63%. Man. So even though we have so much... Yeah. That's interesting. Oh, by the way, for these ones, the health was a little bit decreased. I added some high explosive and frag, and I added the defrag in a really sharp spread, I believe. Or is it? No? What is this? This is so weird. This is so... This is weird. Okay, they are a little bit mixed. It doesn't work. So the health is a little bit too low. We'll have to test these out, see how much damage they actually do. I thought I may have mixed it up with another iteration there, but they are not getting through a lot of the time, or they're not accurate enough. And how about these small ones here? Well, here we have 11%, 22%, 0%, man, okay. Okay, that's bad. This one, 12%, 37%, well, these cram cannons here, they probably need to be switched out. They're not doing much, are they? This one here, 1 shot fired. Not even hit. How are we doing down here then? This one is 0%. Yeah, okay, this one has to go. It doesn't do anything. It just doesn't get through the lamps. And this one here then. Alright, what are we doing on this? 41%? 56%. I think we're aiming these at above the superstructure, so I guess some of them can miss, but they should deal some pretty decent damage. Our favorite Vigoletta, 85%. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, that's a stayer. That's a stay turret. How are we doing at the stern cannons here? Now we're missing one. 35%, 42%. Yeah, well, we're tanking some health points with having loads of shells in the air, but man, they're not getting through. 69. Nice. Oh man, we have sync on these. That's bad. Okay. We need to make sure we remove the sync. I think the cram system has, in any case, done some decent job at distracting the Ragnarok's Siv's cannons, because when they are turning to point upwards, and oh look, we won the battle. Okay, that's amazing. Well, we are stronger than the Ragnarok, but I feel that our cram cannons are a little bit lackluster, and we didn't win as fast as we should have. Well, that's good news, at least. That's good news. But I do feel that some of the stuff here is a little bit lackluster. These cram cannons are just not really packing it, if you know what I mean. That's a bad joke, GMODISM. Packing, come on. Anyways, this damage doesn't say much. I wonder why this one is prioritized. Oh well, doesn't matter much, does it? 3 of 5 shells hit. Well, I think that's some decent damage done here. We don't have to keep them, of course. 40%. That's bad though, 40%. The pack cannon. Alright. Hit rate 100%, 92%, 64%. I think that's good, man. I think that's good. Okay, good. And our pack cannon is still alive. We lost engine power, by the way, but whatever. 40%, 60%. Yeah, all those diff guns, I'm not really sure we need them. I'm not sure they actually do much in terms of winning the battle for us. Do these have a hit rate? Shouldn't they? Maybe they just don't reach. How about you? Nope. Well done. 5%. Oh, okay. They're not reaching the target very often, are they? I'm not sure even this is a worthwhile, like a worthwhile cost to spend on teasing the smoke. I think in Ragnarok in particular, I think it just always dispenses its smoke. Well, I think we'll need to find some options to these turrets, so we're going to dive into looking at turrets. I have worked a little bit on our cram turrets. And I have found a solution I think works pretty well. So this is the crusher, and I have updated it to suit our needs a little bit better. This is a new turret which will be added to the ship. This is the detonator, and it is a 1970mm cannon, and it's a single barrel, chemical, big cram. This is one of the more classical crams that a lot of people are using in big tournament battles, and since I found that having multiple barrels makes it so that each shell has lower health, which makes it more likely to get taken out by the lambs in the end. And I'm hoping that when having a big one here, you can see that the shell health is almost 180,000, and I think that's gonna be pretty hard to kill. These shell health I've added and changed a little bit, so its shell health is now kind of in the 140,000 as we had before, and the middle one is in 126,000. I think that's more because the previous version on the ship, their health was a little bit lower. So in any case, let us show what are these type of cannons now. This one, which we have here, the detonator. No, this is the this is the crusher. The crusher is still a hollow point system, so we have hollow point here, and the previous version we just saw on the cannon, I don't remember if it was hollow point or not, but the original one was hollow point, and then it got changed for some reason. So these are hollow point systems, yeah, and they're loaded out in a little interesting way. I added them to have frag, and as I said, I set the angle to 1 degree, and I got a little bit confused before if I already did this or not, and I didn't, and it sucked. And this means from the future I can tell you that this works a little bit better. I think, at least. Sometimes it's hard to know. But I set it at an angle of 1 degree, and of course this makes the frags super weak, but this is a hollow point, and the shell will detonate at the armor surface. So I'm really setting this up to work a little bit as a shaped charge with max pen. So it just penetrates as deep as possible with this 1 degree angle. We also have a tiny bit of EMP to deal some slight EMP surface damage. And the other ones, they are set up in a similar way. A little bit of EMP, a little bit of frag, and frag 1 degree of course, and EMP there. So yeah, and the EMP they are dealing, it's 2000 damage, so if we hit near a detection component, we should be able to take it out. Now, to the detonator, it's 1970mm, mostly because I think it's funny. There is no real reason why I skipped some 30mm. It's just, you know, I like to have that. I think it's boring when all APS cannons are 500mm and all crams are 2000. Like, I want some variation, even though it's more like in my head. But in any case, this is a 150 degree, so wide angle frag cannon. We have a tiny bit of high explosives to really clear out some blocks exactly where the detonation takes place. But other than that, it's a big fragger. And having the frag angle as large as this makes the fragments very powerful. We have 51 fragments with almost kind of 120 damage each. These are gonna kill some blocks, are they not? Yes, they are. And I think this is detonate from first impact or something like this. Wherever I have the fuse, I don't know where I have the fuse. Is it kind of here? No, oh, there it is. Right, So here I put the fuse, and it is time from first impact 0.09. And I set that up to be approximately exactly what I want to deal some damage towards enemy battleships. So we don't want to penetrate too deep, we just want to penetrate deep enough. So we're gonna do like this, and we are going to slow down time, and we're gonna fire these ones, so we can see what type of damage we have set up. Bam! Now, this one may be penetrating a little bit too deeply, but I kind of imagine that this will be pretty decent damage if we are penetrating a battleship with some stronger armor than this. This is one layer of heavy armor going through like that, just some metal and wood here. And I don't remember exactly how thick the Ragnarök is, but I think this would be kind of in the middle of most battleships. So that's why we have the detonation taking place there. Now here we can see at the hollow point cram, of course, the combined output of this cannon is a lot more health than this, because this is effectively like, what is it? I don't know, it's like 300-400-ish K. So all of them are not going to be taken out. And here you can see the detonation is taking place here. This entire chunk, it was a pretty, only 2 layers thick, but all of these blocks in the surface were destroyed, and the fragments went through and dealing some deep penetrating damage. I'm suspecting these will do more successful damage on a real target than on this dummy. So I think that should be a good combo for our cram cannons. A more classical doomer and a little pseudo heat shell, kinda. This is the Vigoletta Marksman sniper turret you saw at the side of the ship, and I'm not exactly sure how much damage they do. We can see they penetrate. I think this should be probably penetrating enough to deal some damage to a turret. So I think we're gonna make these aim over water. And this is just a sabot head. But yeah, we're probably gonna make these aim over water because they are dealing good damage, but they are not going to be able to penetrate like the side hull of an enemy ship. I think they're a good fit in there. We're not going to test all of the tiny turrets. We're going to take a decision on them only, or like solely, dependent on how big of a percentage the shot actually hit. If they didn't hit very often, they will just be removed. So don't be surprised by that later. This is in any case the Arqueballista Invictus. Oh yes, I already knew this by the way. But I just wanted to show you here an extra time. They are very well capable of shooting through most hulls, and these are definitely a keeper. I definitely think they were able to disable the Ragnarök's engines pretty decently too, and were one of the factors that made it sink in our little test earlier. I only have one pack turret by the way, so I always forget its name. But it is called the Triad. So we're gonna test this one out too. We of course need to damage, clear all, repair, and we're just gonna... Excuse me? Excuse me? My god, they're acting super weird. I replaced them, let's see if they work now. Like, these worked actually pretty well in the battle. They hit almost every time, some of them hit every time. So, okay, let's see here. Ooh, the piercing ones are actually going through, man. That's pretty cool. Each of these turrets only cost... they only cost 30,000 by the way, but man, I didn't expect the pierce one to go through like that. That's cool. We're dealing EMP damage, we're doing some impact damage, and the impact damage is a little bit lackluster, but I'm kind of thinking if we hit the small turret, we can just delete it if we hit it with some. Yeah, I think that one gets a pass, and we only have one of them anyways. This is one of the cannons we're gonna replace some of the cram cannons with. I'm just gonna show it to you. This is the slightly updated version of my Fang turret. Let me see here. Is it Fang Mark II APS 49mm? It's a pretty old turret. It's one of the oldest one I have. Which makes me remember, huge thanks to all of the commissioned officers in the army of GMODISM who are supporting the channel. Admiral Super Dave, Captain Y, Stellar Lieutenant C2, Venerated Lieutenant Powered by Greed, Lieutenants, regular Lieutenants Asteria, Lieutenant Tyler Russ, and Lieutenant Vincent Veritas. Thanks a lot for supporting the channel. And you can of course access this together with my cadets. You can also access all my files. But it is a sabot head mixed with a charged head, whatever is that called, heat shells. Now we are up to against heavy armor here, so of course this is not our optimal target. I'm more thinking that we should be able to kill some turrets by shooting the turret heads. This is of course a over surface sandblasting measure. But anyways, that's just an idea. I think we're gonna stick them there. Before we look at the next iteration, I'm going to show you the rules here. So you will have plenty of time to build your ships, because there are gonna be a long time before this is actually out and we are taking submissions, but the submissions will be open, so there is no deadline, there is no need to hurry. But if you want to be an early bird and start building already, I've put together some rules that is most likely the rules we're gonna use. That's kind of pretty official. So I will reserve myself to be able to change these rules if I have to later, but these are the building rules. So please check out these little rules and you can start building if you want to be an early bird. If not, there are gonna be plenty of time for you to actually complete your ship and send it in. Don't worry. We're gonna have battle after battle after battle with this. As promised, the Gimli rules. So, these are just some preliminary rules. If you're an early bird that wanna build really early, remember the submission is going to be open. There is not gonna be a deadline. Their rules are a little bit subject to change, but it should be these basic ones. No cheese is the first rule. That means like no spin clipping, no internal propellers, no weird stuff like that, no cheese at all, like no big blocks of tetras to do aim point spoofing and stuff like that. Max 100,000 blocks, that's a pretty high block count, but you know, I need some kind of block count because sometimes people, the secret advisor, can go overboard with building out of only wood tetras, yeah. So that's why, 100k blocks. No extreme missile spam. So you can't have like several hundred missiles in the air at the same time. It just lags too much. Of course you can have big blocks of interceptors, but not like huge blocks of interceptors. And a little hint is don't use small, use medium. Small is not banned, but almost mainly rely on medium. They're also more efficient, by the way. Oh, and then we have no water pumps and no helium pumps. So no water pump or helium pumps whatsoever. Not a single one on your entire construct. It's banned. They lag too much. They make my game stutter. I'm sorry. I would like to use them otherwise too. Under 2.2 million cost. That means not 2.29. That means 2.19. So max. So max 2 repair bots. Yeah. No spawn drone, sub-object or detachment thing. You should not have 2 vehicles in one, basically. And lastly, no extreme sub-object spam. So don't come with me with like having like 500 diff guns. It's just like too much. Keep the sub-object sensible, of course. These are big ships. You should be able to have many turrets, but no spam. It's a little bit subjective, all of this, but I'm the judge of it, so don't test my patience. I can refuse to do battles if they don't work. Like, if my computer lags too much when I'm trying to run the battle, it won't be a battle. So these are some rules to make it fair and to make the battle works. Next iteration of the ship. Here it is. I've already started to replace some of the turrets. Here you can see we have the new detonator here and there, and we have the detonator here. Now, these auxiliary turrets, I completely forgot to check the stats on this, but I actually checked these stats before. And that's pretty funny. They are mostly hardener pellet, they're not very big, but they have a detection rate of 257. So they actually hit more often than you'd think, because its small diameter makes it so that the lamp system is not occupied with it. So these are probably gonna stay, by the way. I just forgot to talk about that. But they're pretty cheap too, so it doesn't matter. But there we replaced them there. So let us look at the next iteration of this little ship, because this is literally the only thing that was added, I think. Alright, here we have the next iteration. And a lot has happened. So let's dive into it. So here we are in our seat. Whoops, I'm just clicking the wrong buttons here. This one stays for now. I'm thinking we might remove this with some anti-missile missiles later, but we'll see. The pack turret does a phenomenal job, it stays. We replaced some of the diff guns. Here we actually have a diff gun that just looks so beautiful, and Setup designed this one, and it is a Civs diff gun originally. Now I don't really remember if I changed this version to be a damage dealing one. I think I did. In any case, that stays there. So we have the cannons there, nice angles going on there. We have them sticking out at broadside so they hit the enemy more oftenly. And here we have the Fang we talked about before. It's sitting here instead of those cram cannons. These cram cannons here, they were a little bit too expensive and they kind of sucked. So I stuck some super cheap cram cannons in here too. I think each of these cost like less than 2,000. And they are only kinetic, and they are mostly here to look cool, to be honest. But since they have a small diameter, I think that they, like them, will not be very much prioritized, so I don't think they will be shot down too often. So that's what we did there. We have some damage dealing areas, and I have a fantastic detail to show you. I've added the gemstone roof, just as promised. Now the Gimle is really living up to its name. It's a golden hall with the roof covered in gemstones, and a very safe and nice place to be, thanks to the military powers it yields. So I think it looks absolutely stunning. Please leave a like for my artwork in the roof here. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. So here we have it, the Golden Hall, a hall that is worthy of kings and queens. If you're a king and queen, you need to subscribe right now. In any case, that's the things we have added. I don't remember if this area was so cozy, but it is now. Yeah, that's basically that. Oh, by the way, this entranceway, look at that. Beautiful golden trim around the corners like that, so we can go in here. Yeah, we needed something like that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to test this against the Setup's Turtle Lord, because I want to see how it survives a beast like that. We don't really have much in terms of anti-munition systems, so it's going to be very interesting. Beautiful Lagfest Turtle Lord, let's go. Alright, this is just absolutely terrifying, oh my god. So the laser is lasing but oh, okay. I don't want to wait for this to be so scary. We're gonna speed up time to normal again. Ha. All right. We have some anti-missile missiles trying to deal some damage. Oh. That's a big taste of my own medicine. Cram my ass. That's scary, man. Ooh. Well, our pack is still alive. Man. Superstructure. This ain't a very nice feast anymore. There's like literally three shares left, man. Well, I guess only 3 people survived that, and it's the end of the table too. So I'm sure they're like low-ranking soldiers in the army of GMODISM. So we may had some commanders that died this blast. Oh my god, KIA. Very sad. Any case, the next episode is gonna be about civ systems. If you could have guessed that. Oh, here we got more of my own medicine. Cram mortars. How is the stats, by the way? Ooh, I'm only 1% behind. That's pretty cool. Yeah, but I think that these diff guns, they of course deal damage, but I'm not sure they deal enough damage to the enemy to actually be useful. If we'd compare that to actually making us not die from these very scary blasts of cram. We're still in pretty good health, but man. Ooh, you can see that that's just clouds of fragmentations. Our big superstructure does help us getting not too many shots at us with those diffs, but man, we're feeling pretty sad. We'll need to pause here just to see. Oh man, do you see how low we're going? We have engine power and stuff left, but man, these are some big holes. Sad turrets, sad lasers. Wow. Yeah, well, that deals some damage, that's for sure. As the pods are going on there too. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the bottom of the ship. I'm more worried about those cram detonations. I really think we're still going towards losing. Oh wow, they shot at his superstructure. That's so lucky for me. How are my crams doing? The Turtle Lord doesn't use any civs of any kind. Poor turtle. Meat red inside. Yeah, and we're doing with crams, of course, but it's really looking. Oh man, we're down to 88%. Yeah, we're definitely gonna invest in some civ systems. Oh, and this, we exposed that. That's nice, but I think our hollow points may not be the best choice against the Turtle Lord. Nah, not the best choice at all. I think we're slowly going towards losing this battle. That's what makes most sense. All the crowns are online too. We don't have anything to put against those. Ooh, that's a bad day for Captain. Captain Y, are you okay? I don't think Captain Y is okay. Well, he is okay actually, but oh, poor Captain. It's just his seat disappeared. And Captain Y is of course a commissioned officer in the army of GMODISM, so it's a real person. That's why we're worried. I'm sure he's hiding somewhere in the bow of the ship. That's the bow. The other thing is the stern. Yeah, we're losing this one. We need to invest in some good civ systems, no question about it. I'm gonna think a little bit on what type of mix of lambs, what type of mix of civ's missiles, what type of mix of civ's cannons we actually want. There goes the laser turret. And see what we can come up with. Because right now, I don't know, the lambs, I don't think they're delivering. In our Discord, Belkant even suggested we should just get rid of the lambs altogether and focus all of it to deal damage. But you can see the lambs is doing something in the front here. They are taking down the mortars that are popping down there, and those are a bit scary. They really are. But any case, thanks a lot for watching, and huge thanks to everyone who's supporting the channel. We'll be back next time, and we're gonna make some civ systems so that we can hold off these crams a little bit better. But I'm really happy we actually managed to beat the Ragnarök, and we haven't tested it with our new turrets. I am just straight out assuming that our new turrets will be a little bit better than our old turrets when it comes to facing the Ragnarök, and that's just an assumption. It may be the other way around. It may be we had the perfect setup to deal with the Ragnarök before. Who knows? You'll know in the future, me too. This is your host GMODISM. I'm signing out, and you must like this video and also subscribe to catch our next one. Bye bye. '69. Nice.